Guys, welcome back to the channel, and I've got an absolute banger for you today. And this is one of the most pressing questions I get asked multiple times over per week, and that is, when should you hire a media buyer? A lot of people are confused as to the timeline on when you should actually hire a media buyer. So some people think that you should hire a media buyer after you've taken on a couple of clients first and you've done the service delivery first yourself. Some people say get it from the start. Some people say try to get a media buyer as you do outreach. Which one is it? It's very confusing, and in this video I'm going to break that down for you guys and lay it out very clearly in my own opinion. Again, this is my own opinion and what I've learned from experience. So this is what I'm going to basically, pass on to you guys, because that's the only thing I can do. Only talk from experience, if you will, not theory, if you will. I'm talking from actual experience in this video. So I'm going to lay that down for you guys and clear all that up in my opinion, if you will. So just before I get into this, guys, agency tramitation again is $497 right now at the time of recording this. I don't know when you're going to be, actually watching this. You might be watching this on like the Thursday or the Friday, I believe I normally drop videos or something like that, or maybe even the Sunday. So just be careful in terms of like the agency tramitation stuff, because the discount is actually going from $497 to $597 for the next 10 spots. So the next 10 spots, people are going to get agency tramitation for $497. After those 10 spots are gone, it's going to go up to $597 USD. Everybody keeps telling me I need to increase my prices. The results I've been getting are absolutely crazy. There's literal 3 case studies I can pull up right now where a student's actually coming to agency tramitation, and within 2 days, these are 3 people. This is not a fluke anymore. That within 2 days, people have closed their first client within 2 days of doing outreach. Like literally, day 1 did outreach, day 2 landed a client. Literally insane. I've never heard of results like that, and that's multiple times over now. It's not just one person, not just 2. It's actually 3 people. Not only that, we've also had many students close clients within their first 2 weeks as well. So students are getting clients like really quickly. So the price is definitely going up from $497 to $597. But for the next 10 spots, I'm not sure how many spots are available. I'll let you guys know below. But the price is going from $497 USD to $597 USD. And again, you need to get in quick and save yourself $100 if you want to get in on that. The second thing I have for you guys is a completely free Telegram group. I'll leave the link below to join that Telegram group. So if you're into SMMA, if you're into personal branding, if you're into any sort of service business, or you're like trying to be an online consultant or like start your personal brand, like I said, you can join that group. I'll be putting tips in there on both or all types of aspects. Very just like ninja hacks, if you will, how to start Upwork, all that sort of stuff's going to be in there. Outreach, SMMA stuff, agency live stuff. It's going to be in that group as well. It's a completely free Telegram group. You can join that. Going to build like a free community and kind of just give back to the community, if you will, at this point. So that's the Telegram group. It's below. Now let's get into the video. So should you hire a media buyer from the beginning, or do you want to do the service yourself? So a lot of people think, right, that when you hire a media buyer, you should at least do 1 to 2 clients yourself, in terms of you get clients first, you handle your clients first, and then what you do is, keep the profit, retain all the profits, and then you go and hire a media buyer. I actually think this is incorrect. Me personally, I think it's incorrect, and to be honest with you, I don't actually genuinely care what you guys think. If you guys think this is incorrect, this is from my own experience. I found that hiring a media buyer first before you actually start getting clients is what you want to do. Now, here's what I recommend you do. When you're just about to start going and doing outreach, right, find a media buyer at the same time. So you start outreach, and within the same day, you start posting for a media buyer on the exact same day. As in, you wake up on a Monday, you do your outreach, maybe on Upwork or whatever your outreach system you're using, your cold emails, for example. If you're not using a hybrid system, you're going to do cold emails, probably not going to be very effective, but we'll talk about that in a second. But long story short, whenever you start your outreach from that day, what you do, so let's say you do that from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., just hypothetically speaking. So then what you do is you do your outreach, and then immediately after you start posting for a media buyer. Now, the reason why I say this is because finding a media buyer is very, very difficult. It's literally like trying to close a client within itself. Like, I'm not even joking. It's like just as hard as to find a media buyer as it is to close a client. Well, technically, if you're using something like Upwork to close clients, stuff like that, Upwork's actually quite easy to close clients. I mean, like I said, I've literally had students come into the program, for example, and close their first client within 2 days, first 3 days, first 7 days, first couple days, first 14 daais. You guys get the point. So finding a media buyer, though, I found normally takes around 2 to 3, can take anywhere between like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks if things are turning over very slowly for you. Now, when I say this, like I've noticed that a lot of gurus don't actually mention this, but like finding like a media buyer isn't as simple as just posting one time in a Facebook group and expecting like your perfect media buyer to show up. You have to take them through a proper process. Again, in this process, they kind of like this. It's almost like a funnel, if you will. I take them through a funnel. So I make them fill out like an application. I make sure that I vet them on the front end and on the back end. And what I do is I extrapolate like a big group of media buyers into the perfect media buyer. Again, this whole system is taught inside Agency Tramitation. So if you want to learn more about that, that. Like I said, the program's $497. The link is below for you guys. So long story short, guys, what I do is I have like a funnel to kind of like take all the applicants that have applied to my job on Upwork. By the way, I find my media buyers on Upwork. Let me just talk about that in a second, and let me explain the funnel first. So the funnel works like this: you post out for your media buyer, your job posting, if you will. Media buyers start applying to that. Well, people start applying to that. There are potential media buyers at that point. Then what you do is you kind of need to weed these people down into the best of the best by looking at the applications. Then what you do is you put them through kind of like a funnel, if you will, like a questionnaire type of sheet. You can put them through a questionnaire, if you will. And then what you do is within that questionnaire, you can see their answers and stuff like that. Then what you do is you jump them on a call, the best of the best out of a call. So now it's gone from like, 20 applicants to maybe 10 of them were okay. Out of those 10, you've got on calls with 5 of them. Out of the 5, you pick your best one. That's how you basically funnel that down. And again, I teach this inside Age of Transmutation. Now, where do you go about finding your media buyers from? Now, that's a good question. What you can do is you can use Facebook groups. I've never really seen successfully me find a media buyer. Never actually successfully found a media buyer through Facebook groups, I'm being honest with you guys. I've had media buyers apply to my jobs and stuff like that, but I've never successfully actually landed and got myself a decent media buyer from Facebook. I never even got to that point, if you will. I just use Upwork. So I use Upwork, my client account. I post out saying I'm looking for a media buyer for my agency and stuff like that. So I don't use Facebook groups. Not to say that you shouldn't go and use Facebook groups. It's just for me personally, in my own personal experience, it's never really worked well for me, to be honest with you. And what I've actually found, by the way, guys, is like when you post out that you're looking for a media buyer on Upwork, like on your client account, I found that the media buyers that apply to that job understand that you're an agency and they're going to be working in your agency, if you will. Whereas people outside of Upwork, for example, like in the Facebook groups, for example, I found that because they're in a Facebook group, they want to just immediately charge $1,000 per month, and they kind of see you and your agency as a client to them instead of them being your employer or like the team that you're trying to build. It's almost like they come from a agency standpoint where it's like they are their own agency and they're just trying to close you as a client, and you're actually a client to them, if you will, even though they're doing the work for your client. It sounds kind of confusing, but it literally feels like they're just trying to grow their business, if you will, instead of them being a freelancer. So it feels like it's like they're coming from like a business angle where they're trying to make as much profit as they possibly can and just like make a whole bunch of money and kind of just like charge you like at least $1,000 per month per client. And it just feels like they're trying to like grow their own white label kind of like agency, that sort of stuff, instead of them being like a freelancer, understanding that they're working in a team. Now, I don't obviously blame them for that. Of course, you guys are supposed to be charging what you guys are worth and stuff like that, and your media buyers are worth a lot of money. Finding a media buyer, in fact, is probably one of the greatest ROI activities you can possibly do, because like if you can't find a good media buyer, your entire business is pretty much set at that point. Literally, they're a dime a dozen, and they're just like gold, if you will. Because think about it, once you find a good media buyer, you become more confident on your sales calls. So these are some of the benefits why I recommend finding a media buyer first, if you will. So let's actually summarize this. So when should you find a media buyer? Real quick, you should find a media buyer from the very get-go. So when you start, the same day you start doing outreach is the same day you try to look for your media buyer. The very same day you start outreach at 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. if you will, doing your outreach or however long it takes you. Then after that day is done, you post on Facebook or post in the groups that you're looking for a media buyer. Now, when it comes to posting for a media buyer, you need to post multiple times over. You want to do it in a way that's not spammy though. So I found that like posting one time and trying to find a media buyer is impossible. Like trying to find, like, it's not going to happen on the first time. Nothing really happens on the first time. So you need to make sure that you're posting multiple times. But yes, the answer to the question is you find a media buyer before you start landing clients. Now, the reason for that is because when you are explaining your services and stuff like that to clients, you're probably not going to be able to explain it well. So like when you're on strategy sessions, your media buyer can, turn up to those strategy sessions. So when you've actually closed a client and you actually, take them through your onboarding process, which again I teach you in Age Transmutation, you actually take you and your media buyer on that strategy session, and your media buyer and you are going to talk strategy to your actual client, because this is the strategy session now. This is after the sales call, after they've actually paid you and stuff like that, after they've onboarded. So this strategy session, you actually have you and your media buyer in there. So obviously you want to make sure that you have your media buyer. Not only that, but if you're trying to build an agency, you need to build a team. If you literally Google the definition of agency, it says something on the lines of like an organization or business that provides services on behalf of another business or organization. So if you actually then kind of like look at the definition of the word organization, it's multiple people that are organized in a certain set fashion to achieve a set goal, if you will. So that means multiple people. So you being your agency, that's not an agency, you're a freelancer. you need to have a team in order to be an agency. Like literally the word agency within itself means organization. An organization means an organized group of people. Group meaning more than one. So that obviously right there should factor in that if you're trying to build an agency, not a freelance kind of like, I don't know, quote unquote business, if you will, then you don't really need to know Facebook ads, to be honest with you. In terms of, you do need to know Facebook ads so you can actually sell it to people, but you don't need to know how to run everything by yourself, to be honest with you. I do recommend having at least some sort of idea, because if your media buyer leaves, you're kind of just going to be, messed up, if you will, or at least find 2 media buyers in that point where you can actually just have one as like a backup and have one in your Rolodex, if you will, whenever you need them. So long story short, and that by the way, that's a great little tip right there. When you take people through the funnel, you find like 20 people, you take them through the funnel in terms of like you find, and you end up on 5 calls, you hire the best one, and the second one, what you just didn't hire, that person, you can keep their details and you can actually hit them up whenever you need them if your first media buyer kind of like goes down. I had to learn this the hard way, by the way. So finding your media buyer, I recommend you should do it from the very, very beginning. So the same day you start outreach is the same day you look for your media buyer. It's going to take you a little while to land your client, the first client anyway. It's going to take you a little while to land your media buyer as well, because it's literally like trying to close a client, to be honest with you. So I'm going to use that terminology there. And then what's going to happen, guys, is it's just going to make life so much more easier. Once you've got a media buyer, first of all, you can use their case studies. So that's going to help you land clients even easier. The second thing is, on your sales call, it's going to be beneficial to you because you're going to be able to feel more, you basically feel more confident on your calls because you already know you have an expert in place to actually handle the service. The third thing it's going to benefit is your actual client as well, because they're actually going to get an expert service from a person that's obviously an expert at what they do, and they can dedicate all that time to it. Whereas you might be still doing your outreach and you've got other things to worry about, such as like handling the client, actually doing the outreach, the lead sourcing, that sort of stuff, unless you're using a hybrid system, of course. And then the last person it's going to benefit is obviously the media buyer themselves, because think about it, like I said, it's a win-win. It's literally like a win-win. I keep saying this on my channel, but it's like a win-win-win-win situation. You feel more confident on sales calls, means you can close clients. You can use their case studies so you can close clients easier. Your client gets better results because you've got a professional doing this service for them. Then the actual media buyer themselves make money doing what they love, so everybody wins basically. So I do recommend finding a media buyer from the very, very beginning. And like I said, and when I say from the very, very beginning, I don't even recommend doing your first 1 to 2 clients. I know that a lot of people think this. Oh, I'll just do the service delivery for the first 2 clients and then I'll outsource it. What's going to happen there, guys, is you're going to get 2 clients. You're going to see that a lot of time is going to be taken up by these 2 clients, more time than what you actually think. Then it's going to slow down your own outreach process. So your agency's not going to grow, and you're going to be juggling too many plates at once, and you're going to start dropping plates, aka dropping clients or dropping your outreach. That's what I've normally noticed. And if you don't have a media buyer and you believe you shouldn't have a media buyer, then that's just stupid. You can't build a successful business without a media buyer, or like a proper team, if you will. No successful please show me a business making more than $1 million a year, for example, or even $500,000, or even 120K, for example, a year, that has just 1 person working in them. Even my business has contractors, for example, and we're still a relatively small business. We just crossed the 20K. Last month was a £20,500. This month we're already about to beat that. So the 22nd of October, we've already hit like £16,100, I believe it is. Yes, about 16,000. And that's before my sales calls later today. I've got sales calls on Monday, I've got sales calls on Tuesday, literally. So long story short, guys, I have team members, as in like I've got first line writers, I've got media buyers, I've got social media managers, that sort of stuff. You just can't build it all yourself, to be honest with you guys. It's about building the A team. Go look at like Apple, for example. Look how many employees they have. You don't see Tim Cook creating the iPhones and stuff like that. If you asked, I'm pretty sure if you was to ask like Tim Cook how to code like the iOS software that goes on his phones, could you? I doubt he would be able to do that, to be honest with you. I really doubt he'd be able to create a whole iOS kind of like software from the beginning. That's why he's got software developers. It's the same concept, guys. You don't have, like Tim Cook, he runs the entire business. He's not the dude that's, on the computer writing the lines of code, like the individual lines of code. He's got a team to do that. So for you, you shouldn't be the guy in the business writing the lines of code, aka doing the Facebook ads. So I do recommend getting the media buy from the very, very beginning before you get clients, and don't even do 1 to 2 clients first, because what's going to happen is you're going to try Facebook ads. You're probably going to fail at it. Your clients you're going to lose clients. Even if you don't lose clients, you're just going to slow down your own outreach and your own trajectory going going up. But if you do lose clients, then you're going to lose confidence in yourself. And what's going to happen is you're not going to want to continue this SMA business because it's hard. Then you're going to be like, yeah, if I can't do it, how on earth can a media buyer do it? It's just going to knock your confidence from the very, very beginning. So get small wins from the beginning and just start stacking up those small wins, if you will. Find your media buyer, then start actually, closing clients, stuff like that. Well, technically do outreach at the same time as you find your media buyer. And by the way, the reason why I recommend that, just real quick, guys, is what's going to happen is if I started doing this and saying this, if I said this to you guys, go and find your media buyer first and then do outreach, what's going to happen is people are going to go like this. Oh, I can't find my media buyer now, Montel. It's been a month and I've not been able to do outreach. That's exactly what's going to happen. So the reason why I haven't recommended that and why I recommend doing outreach at the same time you find a media buyer, or vice versa, if you will, is because if you guys can't find your media buyer, what's going to happen is you're not going to do any outreach. You're just going to use that as an excuse. Any sort of little thing to use as an excuse when it comes to starting a business, your brain will try to use it for you. As in, like, finding an agency name. Like, look how many people get strung up on just trying to find an agency name when they know it's not important. What's important is doing outreach. So what they do is they know outreach is important, but they're scared to do outreach because they're scared to talk to people. So what they do is they leverage or latch on to any excuse to basically justify them not doing outreach. So for example, it would be like the agency name. Oh, we don't have a good agency name, so we can't do outreach. That's absolutely BS. So what's going to happen is, because media buyer does sound important now, and if I was to recommend, don't do outreach until you got a media buyer, what's going to happen is you're just going to use this find a media buyer thing as an excuse not to do outreach. So that's why I recommend doing them at the same time. You do them at the same time. Even if you don't have a media buyer right now, you're still going to do outreach and look for a media buyer at the same time, guys. So that's what I recommend. Hope this was useful for you guys. If you guys are interested in age transmutation, again, it's $497 right now for the last 10 spots. I posted this on my Instagram the other day. When you're watching this, the spots may have dwindled dramatically. The last time I did a video was like 2 hours ago, something like this. Like my first video, that kit probably was released on the Sunday. This is the last video of the free, so I feel like this will be released on the Thursday, I believe it is. Yes, or Thursday. I think you're going to be watching this on Thursday or Friday or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but you guys definitely can just hit me up on Instagram and ask me if there's any spots available, or just put it in the comment section. I'll just go below and actually just leave the I'll leave in the comment section, like I'll pin the comment to the top of the comment section how many spots are available at $497. But get in there and save yourself $100. It's only going to go up. Other than that, guys, hope you're doing well. And again, the free Telegram group link is in the link below in the description. I'll leave that, make it very abundantly clear how you actually get the free Telegram group. There's resources in there as well. I've got like a goal set resource that I actually broke down in another video, like the first video that I made earlier today. So definitely go and watch that video and go and definitely join that Telegram group for sure. It's definitely going to be popping in there, dropping lots of tips, hints, tricks in there, everything you pretty much need to get started. So definitely go and join that group. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, you can either ask me like any questions in my Telegram group, or you can just send me a DM on Instagram at montel.gordon, whatever's easy for you guys. Anyway, guys, hope you're doing well. Again, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys pretty soon. Peace.